For years now, we've been asking Esee knives to not only update some of their designs, but also the materials they use in those designs. And your eyes do not deceive you. That is CPM 3V steel on the first production run of the Esee Pacaya. Not papaya, that's a fruit, or melon. I think it's a fruit. The Pacaya, and this is made in partnership with Tour. Tour Knives made this for Esee to their specifications, so it's kind of like a partnership. And straight from the kickoff, I can tell you that there are 3 attributes that are major wins moving the ball forward for Esee in this design. But those are followed up by 3 fumbles in execution that may cost Esee dearly. And we're ultimately going to discover how the Pacaya stacks up against legacy designs that put Esee on the map in the first place. And we're going to find out if this design propels them into the 21st century or if they're still stuck in the past. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in. Now, it's pretty obvious to me that Esee took some attributes from the Azula series and the HM series and mashed them up to create this Pacaya. And the first design upgrade that they have done that really accentuates the capability is giving it a 90-degree spine. So it's very easy to scrape a fire steel rod, ferrocerium rod, throw sparks, get a fire going, scrape fat wood, and do those type of activities where most other Esee knives in the past have had some sort of powder coat which rounds the spine, and you're not able to do that. So you either have to grind it on a grinder to give you a 90, or you just have to live with that. I think that is a nice feature to have, and I hope that Esee carries that over into more of their future designs. Now, the second big design change that's a win is the thinner stock. The Pacaya is just about 1/8 of an inch thick, whereas knives like the Esee Azula are almost 5/32 of an inch thick. And with a broader blade overall, that means that the Pacaya is easily going to outperform the Esee Azula in almost every type of carving, cutting, slicing task, especially in general utility or EDC. And that's one of the hangups I've had with older Esee models, is that they tend to be overbuilt and a little too thick, bogging down, especially with some of those slicing applications. So you're sacrificing slicing, but you're getting durability on, say, like the Azula 2. This gives you excellent slicing capability. Now to that third and final upgrade that is a big win before we get to some of those fumbles that I'm seeing. And it has to do, of course, with the CPM 3V steel. I think that is an excellent steel choice for the Esee brand. And I'm gonna make a statement here that I'm really curious what you guys think, and I hope Esee hears. I think that CPM 3V is the 1095 of the 21st century. You know, 20 years ago, 1095 gave you good durability, ease of resharpening, and a good value. Well, in the 21st century, 3V just takes all of those up a notch, but still accomplishes excellent durability, ease of resharpening compared to lots of other steels out there that give this extra level of durability, and better wear resistance than, say, 1095. And I think it really fits the Esee brand very well. And I don't really think that they need to chase after some of these other premium steels like MagnaCut and, you know, M390 and S35, all and whatever's coming out next. I think it just really fits the brand well. I'm glad they went with it on this model, because there's good value there, but good performance. And just imagine if future designs from Esee were made with 3V, and if they brought 3V into some of their legacy designs. Imagine an Esee 5, an Esee Hungalis in 3V. I mean, game over. I would buy those immediately. And I don't think that they could keep them in stock. So that's my opinion. I love to hear from you guys what you think. Now, how about these 3 design fumbles? And the longer I carry and test out this blade, the more I get frustrated with this Kydex sheath. And the whole reason I test out these pieces of gear and equipment is to find out if the design and the capability match up to make it worth taking on an adventure, regardless if it's just going across town or, like today, here with the family, going on a little hiking trip in the backcountry. Well, I can tell you one piece of gear that absolutely keeps earning a place in my system, and it's today's sponsor, which is Hard Side Hydration. The innovation of this small American-based business really makes time on trail just that much more enjoyable, because I get my hands-free hydration in a hose, like what you would have attached to a water bag, but those things leak. They're just a headache to clean and maintain, and they're kind of only really good when they're in the pack. Well, these attach to your favorite rigid water bottle, regardless if it's a 28 millimeter, smart bottle like what I got today, or if you want to attach it to your wide mouth, say 48 ounce or 32 ounce Nalgene's, and many other bottles. And they've just recently updated the hose and the bite valve, so the cover is a little bit larger, keeping it nice and secure. And then all you have to do is twist. There we go. Releasing the hydration, making it that much easier, and then you just twist. That locks out the valve. And with all the quick disconnect attachments, makes it very easy to clean, and then you still have the versatility of your water bottle to drink out of on your drive back. And with spring right around the corner, it's the perfect time to just score yourself a swig rig, either the light or the original. So I'll have a link in the description box below, as well as popping up along with my exclusive 10% off promo code that you can apply towards your purchase and start getting hydrated when you're out on your adventures. Now, if you're familiar with the Esee Sencillo, you're going to be getting the exact KIZER sheath setup that is on that design. And if you watched that video from a year ago, I was not pleased with that KIZER sheath either, but this one has an issue that's even worse. Now, part of it's just design. I feel like this KIZER belt clip is a cost-cutting measure that I do not like. Now, thankfully, they've milled it enough so you can carry it vertical or horizontal scout style, so you can unscrew it and rotate. But it's just a folded piece of KIZER, and it does not clip to your pocket whatsoever. It will easily go over your belt and usually will stay there, but you're not going to get any other, mounting options. And the clips that were metal that came on the Esee Azula series, and I believe still do, are phenomenally better. The metal clips of designs gone by, legacy designs, are just better executed. I'm just not a fan of that. In my opinion, you're gonna wanna dump this immediately for an Ulti-Clip, Molly Lock, or Bladehq lock, which the sheath is compatible for. We follow that up with its fit. That did not go in right. I gotta reset. I almost have to reset this every single time. When I do get it in, there is so much side-to-side slap, and when I pull it out, and I've had it for over a month now, using it consistently, I'm still getting KIZER material all along the edge, meaning that it's dulling itself inside the sheath. So the fit around the collar and just the overall play, all of that just is not up to the standards of what I would expect with, say, the KIZER sheaths on the HM4. It just has a really nice, secure click into place. There's no KIZER that shows up on it, and there's much less side-to-side play. So old legacy polymers and KIZER that Esee has been using, I feel like is better quality and better overall fit and finish than what I've seen on the Sencillo and now on the Pacaya. Now, the next two design fumbles flow out of the KIZER sheath. First and foremost has to do right around this guard, with this below the edge protruding guard portion is almost razor sharp. And I believe this is the main tension point for the KIZER sheath. So it feels unfinished, and if I run in the Azula 2, I might run in a photo for you guys, you can just see that it's more flush with the edge of the knife. It has ever so slight rounding. That could be because of the powder coating, but if they just hit that ever so slightly and brought some chamfering in around the exposed guard here, that would have alleviated not only the feeling of cheapness and kind of unfinished, it feels unfinished. And I know if I take this to a grinder or a belt sander or something and try and round off all these little edges, I believe it's gonna make the tension on the sheath even worse. And the HM series proves that that guard is not necessary for tension. I mean, that doesn't even have a guard right there. And this has a better, again, click and fit. So it's not a tension thing. It just, I don't know, I don't get it. And so that, it feels like a step backwards in designing. And I really wish that they had, because of the 90'd spine and it not being chamfered right there, just brought the handle scale all the way up closer, more like what we would see on an AK 3.5 or AK 3. That is going to give you a much more comfortable grip right where your pressure is than the exposed sharp angles of the Tang. Now, it's not all bad in the ergonomic portion before we get to that third and final fumble. The handle overall is 4 inches, so you got lots of real estate. I appreciate that. It's going to be longer than the Azula 2, and I really like the real estate length. I love the clothy feel of the micarta. It feels great. You know, it's not a high polish. I like that on my working knives, to have that clothy feel, and that's what Esee is. They're working knives. And so that, in tandem with a couple different color combinations, this is the green, I believe they have black, and then I think there are some G10 options for those of you who prefer that. I believe those are also available. And then it's nice to see those recessed, blacked out bolts in there, and 3 of them really gives you, you know, just kind of a cool pop. Now to our third and final design, Fumble. That is the least problematic, but it's something that I noticed, and when you're throwing down the money that you're gonna pay for this model, and we're gonna talk that and competitive options here in just a moment, it's just something that I would have preferred to see a little bit more attention to detail, I guess. Okay, what they have done is they have contoured the sides, right? So they're rounded versus super old, like the Azula, you know, just totally flat sides. So I'm glad they did that. That's a good upgrade, you know, so they're carrying that along, but there is not a full contouring to the spine, and there's a sharp shoulder right here on all 4 sides. That's not unfinished, but it's just like totally flat on the bottom and the top, and doesn't transition more smoothly. And it sadly reminds me more of my KIZER Chinese-made mini harpoon in CPM 3V, because they have done very similar things. The contouring is on the side, but then there is a total like sharp shoulder and a flat, and that's basically what has happened. There's a slightly better radiusing, but I can definitely still feel a pretty good aggressive transition there, which reminds me of a cheap knife being like 60 bucks. Then something that we already have in the Esee HM series. This is perfectly rounded. We got actually flats here, which is fine, but a really nice radiusing shoulder into the spine. So it feels more comfortable overall. So between the HM series and this Pacaya, this is actually the more comfortable handle geometry. So I don't know if that was a cost-cutting thing. I don't know if they were trying to do something different there, but that is something that I noticed. It's not a deal breaker, but I'm like, oh man, I just would have liked that to be better radius, like on the HM series. So what about pricing and some of those competitive options? Well, I paid, I believe, $170 for this model. They go between $170 and $190, just kind of depends on, you know, what distributor's available, you know, what's in stock and what variants you go with. I'll have a link popping up as well as in the description box below over to the affiliate networks I partner with if you do want to explore this and the competitive options. You know, at, let's just say 170, you know, that's pretty reasonable. I was seeing a lot of people like, oh, that's a lot. I mean, for CPM 3V, American made, you know, they're partnering with Tour to make that knife. So there's, you know, just, that's a very reasonable price point compared to a lot of options out there, unless you want to go, you know, with China. And so the first competitive option obviously is that CPM 3V mini harpoon. We've talked about it a lot. It's a great value. It's a very cool blade. I really like it. I think the sheath is better. I mean, it comes with a crappy belt clip thing, but you just throw an ulti clip on it, and for like 60-ish bucks, you're getting about the same blade length, 90-degree spine. You can check out the full review on that, but you know, it's made in China, so and you're not going to get a lifetime warranty. Esee brings that lifetime warranty to the table. Okay, so then what else would be available? Well, there's the Architect series, the AK3 and 3.5. I have the 3.5 right here. They're going to come in right around that same cost, depending on your build. You can customize handle scales, leather or kydex. You can do a lot of stuff. White River is their OEM for everything except for the 1095. I have a S35VN variant right here. So similar cost, but again, you're going to be getting better handle ergonomics just all around. You know, G10 or micarta are available. It just fills out the hand a lot more. Phenomenal kydex sheath with a tension screw right there. It's going to be zero need to upgrade that. I just threw an ulti clip on there so I could pocket carry it a little more frequently. No 90-degree spine, so you'd have to like grind that right there maybe, or on the spine somewhere else to do something with that, and a lifetime warranty, which is pretty awesome as well. I would say I like the Pacaya over the Sencillo. I did not really like that design at all. This mostly connects with me, but there's just some of these, you know, feet things with the sheath and, you know, the sharpness of the handle that are either gonna have to be modified, I'm gonna have to mess around with, that I wish I didn't have to do, and that I would prefer that they ultimately get dialed in to really help accentuate and accelerate them and help them to compete with the many other companies that are out there. But that's me and my mileage. I want to hear from you guys, especially if you already own one of these. How has it been performing for you? Your take. Always appreciate your guys' feedback. Thank you for hanging with me today. I invite you to check out the other video, to subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.